question, if you were a basketball player, what sport would be your next pick?
Probably do track.
Really?
I was pretty involved in track in high school and stuff. I really like it a lot. Did triple jump, high jump, and 400, also the 4x4. I think it's always a good sport to be in. It keeps you active, obviously, but just the individual part of it and stuff is kind of a nice change up for basketball. Really enjoyed it in high school and stuff.
Yeah, that answer surprises me a little bit because I'm sure you get a lot with the way you play basketball that, I bet you're a great football player, because you do have that kind of mentality. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, a little bit. That's what I always loved playing football. That was especially whenever I was younger. Football was my number one thing and stuff. My mom wasn't as big of a fan of it, obviously, because of injury stuff. But I might have ended up playing football, but I just fell in love with basketball, and it took a lot of my time and stuff, obviously, and it's been great ever since. So,
when did that transition occur?
My freshman year.
Really?
It's kind of whenever I was just like, better just stick with basketball a little bit. Obviously, football coming before basketball season and stuff, but it just took a lot of the time up and stuff, and especially for preseason stuff. I was new to Fort Osage. I went to a private school before that. And so I was kind of making that transition and stuff, and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to deal with all the extra time commitment and stuff like that. So I missed football, but at the same time, it obviously worked out pretty well, I thought. So that part of it was good. So.
You win a couple of district titles at Fort Osage. They had not had a lot of, state-level success in basketball before you came there, but pretty good class, and you play well. But what attracted you to Jewel? Why did you come to Jewel?
Huge part of why I came to Jewel was because of the fact that I live only about 20 minutes away. Being able to see my family was huge. Be able to make it back for birthdays. I have 3 nephews, 2 nieces. They're awesome. It's just nice for whenever somebody has a birthday again like that, or holidays and stuff, you can make that short trip and stuff. That was a huge part of it, but also obviously getting a chance to come here and play for Coach Hawley was also a really big part. I loved a lot of the things that he stood for. Obviously all the success he's had and stuff. Yeah. Obviously a huge thing to respect. So both of those were really huge in my decision.
You were telling me before Christmas your brother, who's in the service, got a chance to come back home early before Christmas and see you play a little bit. What was that like for you?
That was awesome. Yeah, he's out near San Diego in California, and him and my sister, they don't really get to come out very often. So it was great to get to see them and be able to play in front of them and stuff. I know that was awesome. So. Definitely a little bit added motivation and stuff in that game as well. So
now, did he, as I recall, were there 2 games he was able to come to, and you had a pretty big game in one of them, I remember.
Yeah, I think they were here for the Ottawa game, and can't remember what the other one was right before that. But yeah, he was there for that one and stuff, and it was fun. He was able to give me a few tips and stuff like that.
Well, that's good. That's good. Okay, and I remember, and I don't know if it was in that game or not, but I was privileged to see your 3-pointer this year, and and I think that was the only one you fit this year. But you've obviously worked on your game since you've gotten here, but especially it seems like this summer. Am I on the right page on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my freshman and sophomore year, obviously I did a lot of stuff over the summer. I think my first 2 years, it was a lot more about conditioning and stuff, and just trying to get to the point where I was fast enough, strong enough, and things like that to be able to play in the GLVC. Obviously, tons of huge guys and stuff. Being able to adapt to that is very tough. And this summer, I thought it was more about, I felt like I was ready condition-wise and physically. It was about actually refining my game and making it a lot better, working on post moves, working on drives, working on more intelligent ways to get in and get easy buckets for us and things like that. That was what this summer was all about. So that was good. I had some great people to get to play against. They were really good. That obviously helped me a lot. And it was able to set me up for this year, and that was huge.
Well, I'll say to you, as I would say to anybody, that pound for pound, you're as good as any postman in the GLVC. The problem comes in is that you're not as tall as some of them. Does that get frustrating?
Yeah, the size thing is always, somewhat a nuisance, but again, you just gotta try and find a way to use your advantages for it. There's several guys in the NBA that have made a living by being smaller and being able to use what's in here to use it as your advantage. So I think that's what I look at whenever I'm in there. There's some huge guys But you just got to realize what they have and realize what you have, and you got to be able to use it to your advantage, and try and figure ways out to be smarter than them. If you're not going to be bigger, you got to be smarter, and you got to come up with intelligent ways to get around it. So that's just been huge, trying to find weaknesses and then exploit them.
Rebounding has been something that you've been extremely good at this year, top of the conference, leading the conference, that sort of thing. But the thing I think people see when they come out and watch you play is what you're talking about, that heart, the enthusiasm for the game. You get as fired up as anybody when something goes well, maybe when things don't go well. Where does that come from?
I think part of it actually goes back to my high school days. I feel like I've always kind of had that. I'm sure my mom could tell you stories about me going crazy at home sometimes, and stuff like that. But I think in high school, my high school head coach, Josh Wilson, he did a great job of firing us up to get ready to play and teaching us that, you can do a lot of things wrong, but if you play hard, it's remarkable how many things can go right by doing that. And I've just loved that. I love whenever we get to go into film room and we get to see something and, I made a mistake there, but then getting to watch it and sprint down the other way and maybe try and make up for it with a good defensive play, or making up for a bad turnover one possession and gain an offensive rebound and bucket the other way. Again, that's just something I was taught in high school and stuff, that you can't let one mistake become 2, 3, 4. Make a mistake and then make up for it through hard work and stuff. And I think that's what it's all been about. And I've just tried to be that energy guy and try and bring a lot of energy to everybody, do the tough things that maybe somebody else doesn't want to do. But, I think it helps whenever you have somebody like that on your team, and hopefully it makes everybody else do it. And I think it's worked well.
Very well said. You obviously are very articulate, and at some point basketball is going to end for you. What do you want to do at that point? Are you what's your major, and what are you going to do with some of those personal skills you have?
I'm a chemistry major, and as of right now, I'm not 100% sure what I want to do yet, but I'm thinking maybe something along pharmaceutical sales. Obviously, chemistry is a lot of lab stuff and all, which is fine, but I would like to do something a lot that deals with people and, being able to interact with other people and come to an understanding. So I think that that's huge, and hopefully be able to use that. So
yeah, this season at times has been tough for the Cardinals. Still looking as we tape this for our first conference win. But what are some of the good things that are coming out of this season right now? Whether it's within the team or the experiences you're having, what are some of the bright spots?
I'd say the biggest thing to me is that I've been a part of some teams where we've had losing records and things to kind of start going downhill, and everybody starts playing the blame game.
Yep.
And I think it's been beautiful on this team. There hasn't been that. It's been a real just understanding of that this is not where we want to be. But at the same time, we know that we have to do it together if we're going to get out of this hole. And I think that we've done a great job of just realizing that, you tell me what I need to do better, and I'll tell you. And I think that that's been huge. I think we've really stuck together well. Obviously, like you said, we haven't won a conference game yet. That's a problem. But at the same time, I think that we are a team that's capable of, we just need something. I think once we get one win, we'll be able to go on a roll. And we're the type of team that, as well as we've been sticking together and stuff, I think that's something that we can really use and use each other to be able to get over this hump and be able to hopefully string a few wins together and stuff and get hot at the right time. That's the beautiful thing about basketball. It's never too late. As long as you can string some wins together and stuff and then make noise in the conference tournament, you never know. So,
aside from team goals, do you have any personal goals for this year that you're aiming at?
As far as personal goals, I know I was really excited coming into this season as far as being an upperclassman this year. Obviously, it's my third year at Jewel. Accepting the challenge of being a leader on this team. It's something I haven't had to do for a while. And I'm not going to lie, it's been a little bit of a curvy road so far, but it's something that I really wanted to get better at, and I feel like I have been, and I want to keep getting better at that. As far as helping the rest of our team out and stuff, a few new faces this year. I'm sure there'll obviously be new faces next year. Just trying to be that glue that gets us together. Obviously, especially in times like this, going through a tough streak. I'd love to be able to say that, as a team we were able to come together and stuff, and that I was able to kind of help with that. Obviously, everybody has to buy in and everything like that, but that to me is my biggest goal. A side goal, I'd love to be able to lead the league in rebounding. I'm not too worried about points and stuff like that, but I know that rebounding is something that this team needs. And if I could lead the league in rebounding, obviously that's just as a personal thing. I try not to get too caught up with it, but I think it would be pretty cool if I could do that. I think it sends a good message to our team as well. It doesn't matter what your size is, skill level, or whatever. Put your mind to it and your heart to it. Hopefully you can achieve it. So.